I don't think it was the right music, but hey, everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, and with me, as always, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy, the man who may cry devil, and some sort of Borderlands roguelike master.
A robo robot on a quest
The Robo
who,
Quester.
who's really hoping that you were taking my music because I'm jamming out over here.
You want me to take a little music here for a second?
Take the music. Take the music. It's great background music.
We're going to take the music for just a second here. Unless we be, copywritten or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. And we've got a great show for you this week because, of course, this week has been E3. We're right in the thralls. We've had a whole weekend full of E3 action. And now we're kind of at the point where, like, normally the E3 show would have started, but everything's virtual this year, so it's still kind of weird. So we're going to talk all about E3 so far, kind of our thoughts. A lot of E3 has happened so far, so this is not going to be like a comprehensive list of everything.
I mean, most of it's happened.
Most of it's happened. The only thing we're really missing is Nintendo, and I feel like that's going to be its own show in and of itself. So that'll be exciting. It's always a good way to
really. After today, they've gotten up like anything will be better than today. Anything.
Yeah, so it's been a doozy, but we're going to talk all about it. We're probably going to focus more on things that just like stood out to us, things that we liked. So if we don't cover something,
we are going to go through. We're going to name pretty much everything, right? So if anyone hears something that they like that we don't have anything to say about, please let us know in the chat, and we'll read your comments. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll read your comments. Jeannie is already commenting on Twitch that it's been a bit of an underwhelming year, so we'll talk all about that. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Of course, when we do the podcast, we are always playing a game while we do it. So today, I am playing Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, which is one of those games that, like, before I ever had like a PC, I was always just like, man, I wish I could somehow get access to that game because that looks fun. And it's on Game Pass, so I'm just having a great time with Game Pass right now. Just really, just going above and beyond on Game Pass all the way. So I'm having a big time over here. I don't know. I don't even really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of messing around, having a good time. I'm hoping I just don't crash my computer on accident somehow. That would be really bad.
I warned him, guys. If it happens, just know that I warned him.
I'm looking at here. I wonder if I can. You know what? You know what would be really funny? Hang on. Here's what I'm about to do for you, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a live show that we do on chortlegames.com, and also, we do this on chortlegames.com, which is our YouTube source. This is so strange. I can't. Okay. I was going to bring you my task manager and show you how very high my usage is right now, but I can't do that. So anyway, the show normally airs on YouTube, which is chortlegames.com, on Twitch, twitch.tv/chortle_games, and on Facebook and Twitter, both at Chortle Games on either of those platforms. So lots of fun stuff happening. Should be a good time. Jeremy was going to join us. We haven't heard from him yet, so he may pop in midway through here.
We hope he's okay.
Whoa, gosh, now you got me scared, Steven. I hadn't even considered, like, oh, maybe something's happened to him. I just kind of assumed the best and was like, oh yeah, he probably he just forgot.
I'm going to go away from that thought. I'm going to keep it light. He's probably just outside in the rain listening to Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls crying because of how much he got bummed out yesterday.
Jeremy has had a rough E3, or especially yesterday. Yesterday was a hard one for old Jeremy. He had a rough time. But anyway, it's going to be fun. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go through kind of the shows that have happened so far. And like I said, I don't expect this to be a comprehensive list of everything that's happened. But we will kind of talk about our highlights, stuff that we really liked, stuff that stood out to us, and we're just gonna have a conversation. So, Steven, I kind of feel like, what's Jeff Keighley's thing? called? I'm blanking right now.
Summer Games Kojima Suck Off Fest.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to start with Summer Games Fest, or do you want to?
Did it happen since our last podcast? I honestly can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it happened like Thursday night. So no, we have not had a podcast since then. We theorized what would oh boy, we theorized what would happen. But we speculated, thank you, but we haven't discussed the actual show itself. So do you want to start there? Do you want to skip that?
Sure. Summer Games Fest was a good enough show to where we should start there.
Okay. Top level thoughts on the show itself. How did you feel, Steven? What did you think?
I thought the pacing was great, except for when Keeley was on the screen. There were a lot of good announcements, a lot of good variety. Kojima shouldn't have been there.
My only real complaint is the Kojima interview, right?
Well, here's the thing. Kojima being there, hello Vortex. Kojima being there, I need someone to answer this question for me. Like, this is legitimate pondering of mine. Kojima is the founder and head of Kojima Productions, right? That's the name of his the developer, right? I think. So they made Death Stranding, yes?
Yes.
So Kojima shows up and he's like, hey guys, I don't have a vaccine. It's bad in Japan. And then he's also like, hey, one more thing. And then he announces
the director's cut.
Death Stranding, the director's cut. And I'm sorry, but wouldn't Death Stranding be the director's cut of Death Stranding?
I had the same thought.
Because he's the director.
I had the same thought. It's like, who told you to cut something, Kojima? This should have been your thing. Yeah.
That is Kojima saying, hey, I am very well aware that you all think I'm the second coming of Christ. So if I slap director's cut on there and you guys think that I added something to it, then you're going to buy it.
Right.
Kojima is very self-aware about how much everybody loves him blindly. And it bothers me.
I feel like it's just kind of a pretentious way to say
yes, it is.
Deluxe edition
Absolutely.
Or something like that. But we'll see how it goes.
You aren't applying anything to the game. You're implying this is Kojima. This isn't Death Stranding, and that's my problem with one of my many problems with Death Stranding and with Kojima.
Right,
is that he understands that he really doesn't have to make good games, and people will eat it up because the vast majority of Kojima people would love anything from him because it's Kojima. It just bothers me.
The hype has gotten past him. So
Kojima hype is too much.
Yeah. That was really my only complaint. Like everything else, I felt like show wise was fine. Like I really loved the production value of Jeff's show with the screen floors. I love that stage, man. That's a great stage. And they used it to great effect. So I'm going to quickly blow through some just announcements. Steven, stop me on any you want to discuss. And ironically, I'm going to start with one that I would like to discuss, which is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So
hell yes.
So not quite a spin-off necessarily of Borderlands, but kind of a Borderlands if it was high fantasy. And it's going to be
I thought you were about to say not exactly a spin-off of Borderlands, but more of a Borderlands spin-off.
No, I'm not quite that dumb. Kaylin, we did watch the Capcom one. We will talk about that here in a bit. So, but yeah, Wonderlands, they showed a little cinematic, talked a little bit about what the game was going to be, kind of mentioned that it isn't really going to tie into Borderlands, but yet Tiny Tina is definitely going to be like the DM or whatever for the game.
It takes place in the fictional game called Bunkers and Badasses. In universe of Borderlands. So it is in the universe of Borderlands. My understanding anyway is that, but it's in a fictional setting within the fictional setting of Borderlands.
Gotcha.
So it's technically a Borderlands spinoff. It'll share a lot of the gaming conventions, but it's going to be high fantasy, like grenades. I think something I heard them say was that instead of like grenade mods, you'll have spells.
Yeah, I loved in the trailer how it was like he was forging a sword, but then it ended up being a gun. That was really cool.
Some kind of freaking minigun shotgun thing.
Yeah, I thought that was
great.
really a nice touch. So, but yeah, that one I'm excited about. Obviously, I want to see gameplay. I want to see what it's going to look like. But I've never really been into Borderlands, so I would.
Borderlands.
I'd be interested to try that one.
It's just a really good time.
Get me some magic, some dragons, and some high fantasy, and I can get into it a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's see. Metal Slug Tactics. Did that do anything for you, Steven? I know you were kind of excited.
So much for me.
Yeah.
Because we were all texting live when Summer Games Fest Kojima Suck-Off happened, and if I need to stop calling it that, just please.
I think once was maybe enough, but
okay. Okay, I'm putting that to bed.
Okay.
Just never mind. So when I first saw it, I was like, this looks really familiar. Mm-hmm. And they were talking like, oh, it's a tactics game and everything. And then something happened where I was like, holy crap, this is Metal Slug. Mm-hmm. And it looks like basically Metal Slug meets Final Fantasy Tactics. And that is such a weird combination, but it looks like so much fun. And I cannot wait.
Yeah. It looked cool to me. I'm not normally like a the style was what's kind of losing points for me. I liked the animated or like the anime looking style that they had for certain sections. But
the look of Metal Slug,
right?
Because like that's the Metal Slug graphics, but just set to a top down tactics.
Right. And that looks good. That looks cool. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I would like to know a little more about it, but
I was very pleased with it, even just as an announcement in general, because it was so unexpected. It was so random. And is it in my top 5 games that I'm excited about from this year?
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
But like,
if it comes to Game Pass sometime, gets a sale, that's one you're gonna look out for.
Oh, I'm gonna pick it up regardless, but okay. I'm not like on pins and needles waiting for it.
Right. Gotcha. All right, moving on. We talked about Death Stranding director's cut already. I don't want to get any more into that than we have to. Then we had Jeff Goldblum come on and have a really awkward.
Geoff Keighley.
He is great, but man, that was, and I know it's just how he is. That was so awkward. But he announced Jurassic World Evolution 2. Very fun, very cool.
It was cool that he came there. And honestly, and I'll just say this since I don't want to have to talk about the PC gaming show more than I have to. But so we learned more about Jurassic World Evolution, like the fact that it takes place after Fallen Kingdom, so it's between the most recent movie and the upcoming one, which means you're going to be, and I don't know if Evolution was like this, I never played it, but you're going to be rounding up dinosaurs that are loose, like stateside, like in society.
That's cool.
Because spoilers for Fallen Kingdom, but it ends with dinosaurs being let loose in the States, basically.
Okay.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Like that's cool story implication wise if you're into the Jurassic overarching plot.
Right. But... Interesting. Yeah. Lost Ark was announced, which I don't even really remember what that was. It was a Diablo-esque MMO.
That was I think maybe a Korean MMO. Well, so many of those MMOs are Korean. Looked good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Call of Duty's Warzone Season 4. I got a little teaser. Among Us, you can wear Jeff's face, so that's fun. Salt and Sacrifice. This was a Shuhei Yoshida came on and announced this one. It's an indie. It is a
sequel to Salt and Sanctuary. Right?
Yes, and it's coming in 2022.
It's
very
like
cool.
A 2D Souls-like.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It looks like 2D. Dark Souls. Thank you. But looks very cool.
Which it has co-op.
Right.
So I'm interested.
Hey, we'll see.
All you need.
Solar Ash, which is kind of the spiritual successor of Hyper Light Drifter, got another trailer. Didn't announce a release date. Yeah, it was very kind of a weird one to me. I don't know why they
It's very
I mean,
strange.
it was great to see more of the game, but it struck me as weird that they didn't really do much.
It just kind of showed footage in the middle of a boss fight, and it was like 15, 20 seconds, and that
Yeah,
was it. It was
yeah,
just random.
yeah. It was not that long at all. Valorant got a very, very short teaser of the next character. It was kind of funny how they all did that. Escape from Tarkov got a new trailer showcasing a brand new map.
Yeah, the city map looks wild.
Yeah.
So Mike, one of my friends that I went to visit when I went to see Jeremy this weekend, he gave me some context to that. Normally, according to him, the typical Tarkov match, like the map, is supposed to be like 8 players or something. This one's gonna be 30. I
Wow.
think is what he said.
That's cool.
So that's crazy.
That's very crazy. 2 Point Campus, which is like the brand new game from the same world as 2 Point Hospital. So,
Right. Yeah.
I think 2 Point Hospital is on Game Pass. So if this were to come to Game Pass, this might be something I'd pick up at some point to try. It looked
The
very
odds are
fun.
good that this will come to Game Pass.
Yeah. Stranger Things is having a crossover with Smite. Very cool if you're a Stranger Things fan. Painkiller got some sort of announcement. They're working on a new game based on the Painkiller series, which Steven is convinced that everyone hates. So,
Well, the only thing I know about Painkiller is that it was one of the worst reviewed games on Steam.
right.
One of them was, I think. I could be completely wrong.
Right. We'll see. We'll see. Anacrusis, maybe is how you say this.
Oh, is that the sci-fi Left 4 Dead?
This is the sci-fi looking Left 4 Dead. It's a brand new FPS from former Valve and Riot developers, offering 4-player co-op. It's set on a spaceship overrun with aliens, like Left 4 Dead. So it's coming to PC, Xbox, Xbox One, and Games Pass. So we might try it.
It looked rough. Like it just didn't look very polished. It looked fun, but it didn't look polished.
Yeah. It will be something for sure. We'll have to see where they go. Fast and Furious cars are coming to Rocket League. We got a new trailer for Blood Hunt, which is like vampires meets Fortnite. So it's a
horror BR, right?
yeah, it's like a vampire battle royale. House of Ashes, which is the third entry in the Dark Pictures anthology, which is kind of what's the game?
It's Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Folks, they've done
Man of Medan or whatever that other one was called. I don't remember.
They've done several of these now, so fun.
This one looks really cool to me.
Yeah, I like the whole soldiers falling into
yes,
a tomb of some sort.
It's a very interesting perspective because normally when you play a game like Until Dawn, for example, it's a bunch of stupid teenagers. To have it from the perspective of soldiers is very interesting.
I almost did a spit take there. That was funny. Yeah. So I'm curious to see where that one's gonna go. My phone is freaking out.
Alan, just to what you said about not trusting Steam reviews, this Painkiller thing that I'm referring to, that was back before they used Steam reviews and they used Metacritic. So it was bad. but yeah, that's just saying. I'm not living and dying by whether or not Painkiller is a good game, but all I'm saying is the only memory I have of it is that it had a really bad Metacritic score on Steam. That's all I know.
The next thing is Tales of Arise, which is like this anime looking game. Looked very cool. This is apparently a series, and this is the first time really like taking notice of it.
Is it like Tales of Vesperia and those kinds of games?
I think so. My phone has just frozen. I think my phone's about to just like completely crap out on me. So I'm trying to find
playing tabs.
It
affects all of your technology.
I'm telling you, apparently. I'm trying to find the same article that I'm looking at, but I don't know why I can't get to it. Ugh. I can't even like get it to. Oh my God. Yeah, it just like is not reacting at all.
There's some sick slap bass happening in my track right now.
All right, I think. Okay, all right, I'm back on track here. Tales of
The Crypt.
Arise. Where am I? I hope this isn't out of order. This is
Kalen says use your new PC. Well, he's
I'm
using his
using
new
it.
PC
I'm
to
using
play
it
the
now.
Widowmaker, known as. But he was gonna first play the other Widowmaker, Microsoft Flight Simulator, but then he was like, "Nah, nah, nah, nah. I only want to lose one graphics card tonight, so I'm gonna play totally accurate Battle Simulator." Really, that's not the graphics card. That's the CPU that's getting the workout.
I just feel so stupid now. Games Radar it was the article I was reading from.
So anyone watching, did you watch the Summer Games Fest kickoff? If you did, what'd you think? Highlights, lowlights?
All right, I got it now. Here we go.
Cool.
Here we go. All right. So Tales of Arise, yeah. So they got a closer look at the next game in the beloved Tales series. So that's all they really gave you.
Yeah.
So, but it's a JRPG. Looks really cool. I might have to look up what the other older ones were.
All I know is there was a game made by Capcom. It was like Capcom Games and Bandai Namco Games had a crossover as a Fire Emblem style game. It was the weirdest game I've ever played.
This is definitely a Bandai Namco game. So
yeah, and some of the characters from Tales of Vesperia were in that crossover.
Gotcha.
And so that's the only thing I know from the Tales series.
I bet you that the two are connected for sure.
I'm sure.
We got a Sky trailer. Sky is heading to Nintendo Switch on June 19th. So
Brody was really excited about that.
I'm really excited about it too. It's been on Apple Apple Arcade for a while, I think. But it's one of those things. It's one of those that, like, if I didn't have a what am I trying to say, Steven? It's not fun to play on a phone. It's not fun to play on a phone. I want a controller for that game for sure.
Right,
so let me see here. Continuing on. We got Planet of Lana, which looked really cool. It has like this hand-painted art style. It's a little indie. It's coming to, well, I don't know. It's got an Xbox thing on here, so I'm hoping it comes to Game Pass.
If it has an Xbox thing on there,
it's almost definitely
Games Pass.
Almost definitely going to end up on Games Pass.
Unless if it's just like coming out on Xbox. Like if it's exclusive to Xbox, it's on Games Pass. But if Xbox is just one of the platforms it's coming to, then there's no telling. But
it just is listing Xbox here. So, but it looks very fun. It's like a side-scrolling deal. Again, hand-painted art style that looked really cool. You got a little cat alien companion. So it was speaking to me for sure. The 2D side-scrolling, or the side-scrolling rather, was kind of a hit for me, but the art style is winning me over. So we got a little.
It was a hit or a miss?
A hit. The two side-scrolling was a miss, but everything else was enough of a hit that I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Gotcha.
Overwatch 2 got a very short, they showed us off 2 new skins for their characters.
That game's never coming out. Like something's up with it. Like, do you get that vibe to where, like, every time they talk about it, it's just such superficial stuff where it's like no substance?
The more I hear about it, the more I'm like, I don't know that I even want this anymore, because I don't know if you've heard. I don't know. I don't remember where I got this information. I know it was from like Twitter or something, but I recently heard that all of this story stuff, it's not going to be like a campaign. It's going to be a series of these operations, strikes, where you can replay, or I guess you would replay eventually, but you're going to these replayable story, quote unquote, missions that are operations that maybe tell a cohesive story once it's all said and done. I just was kind of bummed out by that. Like, I was hoping for some cutscenes and some other stuff, and maybe we'll get all that.
There will be cutscenes.
I don't know.
I think we'll get more than that implies. But I do think that when they like the story missions are going to be less of a like linear campaign path kind of deal, because they wanted them to be replayable.
Right. I guess that
And so
makes
I do
sense.
think they are going to feel fairly strike-ish,
Yeah,
but I think we'll still get a good narrative.
I hope
I
so.
mean, better than Overwatch narrative we've already gotten, which is not one.
True, true. But yeah, they talked about that. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin got another trailer. That's a fun looking game. Endless Dungeon got some gameplay. Steven,
Yes.
and this, remind me, correct me if I'm wrong, but this one was the one where it actually kind of showed how you have to teamwork, you
Yes.
need to do all this. I'm excited about this one, Steven. Xbox Game
Yeah.
Pass. I'm definitely going to try it out and would like to try it out with you.
It's the one who that is a kind of sequel to Dungeon of the Endless, which is that RPG tower defense game I told you about way back. I think this was on my most anticipated for the year.
I remember it being there. Yeah.
I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. We got the near skin for Fall Guys. I know that's very exciting. Deviation Games came on to announce that they are partnering with PlayStation to create a game. They really did not talk much about anything they're doing.
Yeah,
So,
that was weird. Like they had one picture, like because they had the picture of like the whole team and everything, and it felt really weird. But then they showed one picture of like three of them like stumbling over each other on an escalator. It was like, what is this?
yeah,
I didn't understand.
I'm not sure. We'll have to see where that one goes. Back for Blood got a trailer again, October 12th, 2021 for that game. Tunic, or I'm sorry, no. This is then it showed an indie demo event that's happening next week through Xbox. And so several games, as I recall, are getting some demos next week. The Zelda-inspired Tunic, which is that little fox with a green tunic and sword.
I thought that game had already come out. Like I just hadn't. I guess because I hadn't heard about it in such a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those
That
that sinks under the radar for sure.
yeah.
Lake, which is like you play as a male lady in a small town, and you're like, I don't know if you're solving a mystery or if you're just like creating relationships. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. We saw more of Sable in this section. So anyway, just lots of demos that are going to be happening through Xbox this week. Then we got Tribes of Midgar, which is
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, from Norsefell. Norsefell Games and Gearbox. July 27th is when it's coming. It's a survival RPG. You're building like a village and you're trying to raise your tribe from scratch.
It basically seems like one of those games like 7 Days to Die or even the original Vision of Fortnite.
Right, but
where
Vikings.
during the day you go right. It's top down, so kind of like Diablo. You go around scavenge during the day, and then you can upgrade your village at night. And what's really interesting about this is that it has what seems to be free building mechanics, like you'd find in like an old school RTS. So you get to like free build your walls, your buildings, and everything, which is super cool. So it's kind of like a survival crafting RTS ARPG hybrid. It's very interesting. I wasn't so sure about it when they showed it at Summer Games Fest, but I think I was preoccupied at that point.
Right.
So when they showed it again at Gearbox, and I'll say this now so we don't have to revisit it during Gearbox, I was really interested. So I'm definitely going to be getting that one when it comes out.
Yeah, that looks cool. So, let me see. We got the Evil Dead game, which you and Brody were popping off about. It basically looks like the Friday night.
Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Not Friday. Friday the 13th
Friday
is what
the
I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So
that game, like Evil Dead, is a weird franchise because like it's one of those that shouldn't be well known or popular by like a modern audience because the movies are like the ones with Bruce Campbell are pretty old and they were kind of weird. Like I don't know, like thinking of the Evil Dead franchise, I can't think of which one people would consider to be the best one because it's more so, I guess, the IP that's memorable, not the films. And so the fact they're coming out with a game is strange, but it looks like the most entertaining by far of all of the games of its kind.
yeah.
Like being able to actually fight back against all like the zombies and everything that's coming after you, because it's like a 4v1, right? but it's got NPCs in it as well.
Uh,
Because like you're fighting the monsters,
I don't know about the
and they're
NPCs, but
well, I know they killed like a bunch of zombies, and so I assume those were minions of a player that's acting against the other players.
oh,
Right?
probably, yeah,
It's kind of like an evolve kind of situation.
yeah.
Which that's cool because normally with like Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight, you're just running and hiding the whole time, and you just are defenseless. But in this, you could play as a freaking knight with a broadsword,
Yeah.
and you could just cut through things. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Vortex, Kalen, thank y'all for being here in the chat. I see y'all are pointing out a whole lot of stuff that we are going to get to eventually, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Starfield. So
we're going chronological.
we're going in order of shows, but yes, we are going to get to some of those. So to cap off the Summer Games Fest show, Elden Ring gameplay, we finally got an announcement for that coming out January 21st, 2022. A super surprising date, if you ask me. I don't know that it's going to stick. I think they're going to delay it, but I really hope they don't. But for no other reason than I don't know that Brody can handle it. You know what I mean? I don't think Brody can take it. His heart can't take it. His little heart can't take it. So I don't want to ruin that for him. But I'm afraid
Brody
that's going to happen.
You would think that Brody like met his first true love again, like on that day, because like the whole day he was texting us like, "Gosh, Elden Ring." Like I learned this thing about Elden Ring, guys. Like he was so excited. It was adorable.
It's great. I'm so happy for him. I just am not a Souls game person, so I can't. As much as I would like to try it, it's just not worth it for me. Like maybe if it comes to X Game Pass, I will try it again. But like
they got you now, Jake. Like your world is open now.
Oh, it is. It's crazy. And I don't. I might as well say this now. I don't know when I'll say it again, or I might say it again during Xbox. But like now that I have Game Pass, I can't believe I went as long as I did saying and talking about how great of a deal it is, and not having it. Like
right.
It as a streamer, someone who like is constant, like I constantly want to be streaming or trying out new things that we see on these shows. Like this is the perfect thing. So I am just shocked that it's taken me this long.
Actually, Aaronator, he got his $1 month of Games Pass today, so he currently has it. So I'm gearing him up for some Sea of Thieves because apparently that's the thing we're going to be doing.
It's a thing we got to do, man. We got to do.
I'm getting you a crew.
I love it.
I'm getting me a crew because I'm the captain.
You're the captain. What am I? The first mate?
You are.
I want to be Mr. Gibbs.
Stop.
I want to be Mr. Gibbs.
You are. You are you live in the brig. I don't know what your title is, but scum. You're scum.
I'm scum. Okay, thanks. I wanted to be Smee or something. That would have been better. Scum. But okay, just scum. All right.
Gibbs or Smee. You're just scum, Mr. Scum.
Mr. Scum. Just call me Mr. Scum. My father. Well, no, just call me Scum. My father was Mr. Scum. All right, this is great. So moving on to the next show. Actually, E3 starting. And I'm not going to, again, this is not a comprehensive list. We're going to go down things that we actually watched, whether we streamed it or whether we just watched it in our own time. But I'm going to start with the Ubisoft Forward. Steven, I only have the show itself pulled up, a list of things. Is there anything from the pre-show that you'd like to call ahead? And
you want me to tell you what's in the pre-show, Jake?
I'm assuming nothing because you told me not to go watch it. So
absolutely diddly squat bull crap, nothing. Okay. Because for an hour, it would cut to, like at first it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It was Eivor walking.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes. And then it was like, okay, that's weird. I guess the pre-show starts in 20 minutes and this is the pre-show. And then it cut to just them talking about something, who cares? And then it went to Watch Dogs Legion, a construction worker flying a construction drone for 3 minutes. And it was like, okay, why? It was in a straight line too. It was like not exciting movement. It was just movement. And then it goes to someone and they're like, hey, you've probably heard someone say that a game has gone gold. Well, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. So then for a couple minutes, they explain what it means when a game has gone gold. And then we go to another walking simulator and it does this for an hour. They had literally nothing to show us in the pre-show until the last 5 minutes when we finally got a quick trailer for Watch Dogs Bloodline. Wow. And it was good. We got to see Wrench and Aiden in action. Aiden actually has a gun with real bullets. Excited about that. uh, but that was good. I'm excited to play it. It comes out July 9th or something, like early July.
It's in my list for the actual show, so I can pull that for you here in a sec.
Yeah.
All right, well, good time. Well, let's go down the list. So they started the show off. Yusuf McGee was there again. He's Yusuf, but there's no time. There's too many games to get to. So I'm never gonna. I will never let him live that down. That is the best line ever.
Thank you for reminding me, because like when he introduced himself, I was like, "There's a meme with this guy," and I can't remember what it is.
There's a meme with this guy. I don't know what it was. But yeah, so they started off with Rainbow Six Extraction. I watched the gameplay. I went back. I didn't watch the Ubisoft forward, so I kind of skimmed through this afternoon just to give my thoughts, because I know you're going to have a lot more to say about this, Steven. I thought it looked good. I think the premise is interesting about your going in and you're either collecting data on the monsters or you're actually extracting a team member that brings in the extraction name. So I understand the name a lot better now. But what are your thoughts, Steven? This is definitely a game more up your alley.
So I've been very vocal about this game leading up to it. I've been annoyed that Rainbow Six now is the game where they just don't even care about CT units. And it's just, hey, let's make it a hero shooter that's an esport. And now it's alien zombies. Why not? That's been annoying. But that being said, I'm very excited for this game because it has more of what I remember of Rainbow Six than Rainbow Six Siege. And it's alien zombies, which is hilarious to me. It's going to have that really nice, well-paced teamwork with it. There's an emphasis on stealth, but it's not all stealth. There's going to be a bunch of characters in there. I'm excited to see what the characters bring to the table. I'm a little worried that it's going to be like in Siege, where characters are locked to certain weapons. For example, Lion, in the trailer, the guy that saves Hibana, he is one of my mains in Siege. And he's a bad example because I like his guns, but a gun that he has that everyone loves is his Vector that has a drum mag. But he's the only one that has it. So I'm hoping they go away from that to where it's more, you can unlock guns and maybe characters can use gun archetypes. Like maybe Lion can use semi-automatic rifles and submachine guns, something like that. Because I want more customization in my characters. But I do really like that, because the characters in Siege, as annoying as it is that they are moved so far away from counter-terrorist operatives at this point, that's just not what it is anymore. But they have a lot of personality. And I really liked what I was seeing of these characters actually being part of a story, like a narrative. That's going to be really cool. I like how the world was teased, how this obviously is kind of its own standalone thing that doesn't take place alongside Siege. Kind of an interesting apocalyptic kind of situation where you follow an elite unit. That could just be kind of cool. I'm trying to look past Rainbow Six, you know? And I'm trying to just enjoy it for what it is. And I think I'm really going to enjoy it. I'm excited for it. The gameplay, Kalen mentioned a good point. He said that the aliens looked so weak. There were a bunch of one shots and everything, but I think that was because they were headshots, and also because a lot of them were grunts, and they were just put that in there to kind of show the stealth aspect. I think it's going to be a lot more involved and intense.
Well, yeah, I think because they also kind of mentioned the levels. Like they did their first level. They came in, they went through like some sort of extraction room or a safe room or something like that. I forget the wording. But then they went deeper, right? And they were like, once you go deeper, it's going to get more difficult. And then they showed some more difficult monsters. And then eventually they got to the last room, and they lost a member. There was all that. I don't know if you mentioned this or not. I glazed over a little bit, but I really like the idea of like, every time you go in on a mission, like you risk losing a character.
You could lose somebody. I love that.
That's so... like the real risk reward of that is exciting. So
the question that I had, like as soon as we heard that, was what does that mean for co-op?
Right.
So for example, if I lose Hibana in a mission solo, and then Jeremy joins up on my squad for the next mission, does he not have access to Hibana?
Surely not, right? Surely that wouldn't affect other people's stuff.
See, that's the question. I don't know. Like, it would be weird to me if we were going to rescue a character and the person pulling the character out of the gunk is the character. So I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see more about how that system works, but I love that feature because a thing about Rainbow Six, like just the vibe of Rainbow Six, and I think that's one of the things that has me excited about this game, is that it surprisingly has a Rainbow Six vibe to it, to where when you deploy, like it's go time, like it's serious, like you feel the pressure, because like in the original Rainbow Six there was permadeath, and so like you could go into missions and not get somebody back, so stuff like that, to where like going on a mission, you like that whole thing of like kind of like an XCOM, you know, when you're on the Sky Ranger about to deploy on a mission, you've got the briefing. Like, I just see in my head that kind of stuff for this game, and it fits.
Right.
And so I like that vibe that the game has going for right now, and the whole idea of you could lose characters is really cool. And I also really like that it's not they'll die. Right. Because my thing is, I love permadeath in a game, but I also am the kind of person that I will obsessively not let any of my people die.
Right. Yeah, I would hate that myself.
Yeah, and so like making it to where it's just a capture situation makes it to where people do have that incentive to make that sacrificial play, to where they can be like, you guys get out of here, I'll do what needs to be done. Like, you have more room for those moments to happen without them just hurting.
Right.
Like it's a hassle, especially if you're someone who like has a main and that's your character, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
And I like that. I think it's a good fit.
I got really close to crashing tabs, Steven, so I gotta back it down real quick.
You gotta be careful.
I gotta be careful, man. I got too excited. I got too excited there.
Hello, Courtney.
Yes, what's up, Courtney? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, okay, so getting back to the Ubisoft showcase here. They also showed off a weird, I say weird, for me, as somebody who was skimming through, I was confused why there was confused why there was like an anime trailer to tell about. Now I understand that it's describing crossplay and cross-save coming, so that's coming on June 3rd, so I'm a little confused.
For what?
For Rainbow Six Siege. There was like that weird anime trailer, but apparently all it announced.
Character introduction.
Oh,
that was for a character named Northstar, who, you know, again, gonna vent here for a second. You know, Rainbow Six is a counter-terrorist operation. The reason they're called Rainbow is because it's all the different countries uniting to end global terrorism. She is a rescue chopper pilot.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, Jake.
I mean, you need your pilots, right? You know, whatever. Far Cry 6 got its season pass announcement, so you can play as all the villains in the DLC. Which
I want your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's whatever to me. I kind of feel like it's another. It's almost worse in my mind that they're giving you Voss, but not the way you want him. You know what I mean? So like we were all hoping this was going to be like an origin story for Voss.
It still could be. Yeah, it absolutely could be.
Well, I don't know.
This does seem like it takes place in the past. Yeah. I don't know if they've confirmed when. Is it Yara?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my thought.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
It's stupid. The season pass is really dumb.
What's up,
Jared?
Because
one, Pagan Min wasn't that good of a villain.
Really?
He just had a couple.
I thought everybody liked him.
Mm-hmm. They did, but I don't understand why, because you barely see him like at all. He was a little bit more compelling just when you like learn his actual story, but him as a character was totally forgettable for me. Right. He just has that beginning cutscene like every other Far Cry villain, and that's it. Voss, obviously legendary. But you're telling me that I'm gonna be playing as Voss, a character who is defined by unbridled chaos and just insanity. No, that's dumb. That's like telling me that I'm playing a game as the Joker.
Right.
I don't know who would want to do that. I'm sure there are people that would want to do that, but the what makes Voss and characters like Voss and the Joker so compelling is not who they are, but it's the fact that you have no idea what they're capable of or what they're gonna do.
Right.
And if the moment you put me in their shoes is the moment it's like, why should I even care about this? So that's kind of dumb. The one that I will say could be very interesting is Joseph Seed.
Really?
Because yes, and I was kind of surprised by that myself, because I was thinking about it. It's like, Joseph could actually be really interesting, because Joseph, these DLCs are, as far as we can tell, take place in the minds of these villains.
Yeah.
Joseph, and so with Joseph, he believes that he is called to a higher purpose by some god. I don't know if it's like
Big G God or somebody else.
G God, or if it's just I don't know. Obviously, that's what he does is not Christianity. I'm gonna put a disclaimer there. But the reason that's interesting to me is because we hear Joseph talk about his past and how he actually does have a lot of tragedy and loss in his past, and he overcame that through his calling. And so it's interesting to me because we might get to see the moment that clicked for him. Like, that could be interesting. But these others, it's just like, I don't care about that. That just doesn't make a compelling story to me.
Yeah, I'm not a big Far Cry guy, so I really was kind of confused on it. But anyway, then they also showed a Meet the Villain cinematic, which John, I forget his full name, Giancarlo Esposito, man, he's going to be amazing.
He's such a good guy.
And we didn't talk about his interview in the game showcase, but he did a great job there too. So I love that he's in this game. So that's the big win for me.
He is literally, him and Chorizo are the only two things that have me, that and the attack cock. The only two things.
They did show the attack cock, right? That's a good one. So
yeah. But I want your opinion, because did you watch the Far Cry stuff at the Ubisoft press specifically?
I watched just a little bit of that Meet the Villain cinematic, so I kind of skimmed through it because I was like,
the animation's just bad for you.
It looks like
it looked off.
It looks like a game that wanted to have realistic graphics but didn't want to pay for it. I guess the way you know what I mean. So it didn't look bad, but it definitely doesn't look like, a Last of Us or anything like that.
Off. Like whatever they showed at Xbox, that looked better. But like whatever they showed at Ubi was just not good looking to me. Like, it didn't look terrible, but it just looked out of place from the rest of the facial like the facial captures of everybody else.
Speaking of things that look out of place, let's talk about Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
You're forgetting one.
Not in my list that I'm looking at. I've got
You are forgetting the most chaotic game, Riders Republic. We got to talk about Riders Republic.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh real hard. That is not on this write-up that I'm looking at. Which
did you make the write-up?
No, I'm reading.
The write-up is an idiot.
I don't know how they missed that, but yeah, you're right. Riders Republic.
How can you miss it? That game looks wild.
They literally did not put that in here. That's hilarious. So yeah, Riders Republic. Yeah, I forget what game it was. It was like a shorties, SS tricky, slopers, sliders.
Who cares? Riders Republic exists.
That we were talking about Riders Republic. Like, yeah, it sucks for this game that Riders Republic is here because it's way more happening. It was wild to watch that. It looks like just insane fun. So many different.
It looks like Fall Guys meets Tony Hawk at points, to where you're just going down a hill and last person standing wins.
Yeah, the big, like, I forget what they called it, but it was like, or just join a mass race, and it was just like 100 bikers, like just mowing down.
100 bikers. Somebody was driving a hot dog cart.
You get jetpacks. Yeah, the jetpack races look crazy. So that's one that I don't want to pay like full price for or anything. And not that it doesn't look like it's worth it. I think for somebody it probably would be. But just for me, that looks like something I'd play once or twice for a stream. Maybe something fun for Extra Life or whatever, but not something that I would
it's an every once in a while game that would make absolute stream gold.
Yes.
But it's not something that we're going to be like, hey, let's go play some Riders Republic.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But it looks so fun.
Yeah, it does look fun. I want to try it and play it at some point, but we'll have to see.
Get Uplay Plus. Try it for a month.
Yeah,
you just do it on your PC.
Yeah, I might do that just so we can play it and stream it once or twice. So,
yeah.
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I never in a million years, I mean literally a million years, ever would have thought this would have gotten that the Mario plus Rabbids series would be a series. And not just a one-off thing. Yes, Kaylin, Extra Life is happening at some point, probably in November. We'll have more details as we get closer to time.
Keep talking about Mario plus Rabbids. I'm going to let Flynn outside, but keep going.
They showed a cinematic trailer that basically introduces these quote-unquote sparks, which are Rabbids mixed with the star creatures. I forget what they're called. The Lunas, I think, in Mario Galaxy. So it introduces a Rosalina Rabbid. All I also remember is that Luigi had a bow, which is very exciting for me. Lots of good stuff there. They also showed off new, because it's still a strategy game. It's a turn-based tactical game, but it looked very different. It almost looked like they give you an area that you can operate in, but that you're free to move freely in.
You talking about the gameplay?
Yeah, it was like you had more freedom of movement, but you were still turn-based. So I'm very curious how that's all going to look, because they even talked about, they were like, we want this to kind of push the turn-based genre, which I think is exciting.
I don't know if you've ever seen the Valkyria Chronicles games played, but it does kind of a combination of third person, active, and turn-based, because it is a turn-based game, but you move your characters and aim with them in third person, but you only have so much you can move, and when you shoot it becomes turn-based. I kind of got that vibe a little bit.
It was very good. I'm excited about that leaked ahead of time, so it wasn't a super surprise, but I am surprised, period, that it got announced that it's coming. Another big surprise for me, I didn't know this was a thing, but Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora, Ubisoft finally gave us an official look there. It was just really a trailer. I don't know that any of what we saw was gameplay. It's being built on their latest...
It was in engine, I think.
Was it? It's being built on the Snowdrop engine.
Snowdrop.
So
it's done by the people who did Division. Massive.
Yeah.
That's been why they've been slacking off. And we've known that they've been working on it for a while.
I vaguely remember them announcing that they had something for it. So I'm excited. That could be a good game. If I want to see more, I want to see what you're gonna be doing in it. But I'm interested.
Like my issue with the trailer was that told us absolutely nothing. And granted, for people like I guess if you feel like you fall in this category of people who either didn't know that they were making an Avatar project or forgot. This was a showing of like, oh, cool, this is happening. But for me and Jeremy, we knew this was coming. And it was just like, literally everything you just showed us in this trailer just looks like it was from the movie. Like we need to know what we're doing in this game. Like what are the mechanics, like stuff like that.
If I could briefly give you my opinion on what I would say is my how to announce your game template, if I could give you the stages of that, all right? You're only allowed so many trailers, teasers, whatever you want to call them, before your game needs to release, in my humble opinion. I don't exactly know what that number is, but I'm going to boil it down here. I think it's like 3 or 4. So my first piece that I will allow is a teaser where we get a name or some sort of concept cinematic. All right. So the God of War announcement, right? Just a logo that counts. That's your first thing. I'll allow it. This would also fall in that category. You showed us a cinematic trailer and a Android title. You've kind of announced that this is happening, right? That's your first one. I'll allow it. The second one, I've got to see gameplay. If you're not showing me gameplay in the second trailer announce like the new thing for this, then that's a strike, right?
Either gameplay or important consequences.
I've got to have story period. I mean, a gameplay period, gameplay period for me. Like it could be a cinematic, but then it shows me some gameplay, and maybe it's minimal, but I got to see gameplay in the second one.
Do you think that rule still applies if the first trailer is just a logo?
I will give some leniency if the first one is a logo, the second one is a okay, so let me back this up. So first one I'll allow is just a logo. Some people skip this step entirely. The second one is a cinematic trailer of some sort. Show me concept, show me story. I don't need a date at this point. I don't need any of that. Just give me concept.
We just need to know like generally what we're getting ourselves into from like an upper level.
Top level concept. What are we looking at here? The third trailer, I've got to see gameplay. That is a must have. I don't need a release date. I don't need any of that. Just show me what I'm going to do in the game. From this point on, either you've got to show me a new aspect of gameplay. So like if there's different modes, if there's a multiplayer mode, whatever. Like maybe I'll allow an extra trailer at this point, but really your next trailer,
maybe a trailer that shows like confirmation of co-op through a cutscene,
or even gameplay. Once you show me gameplay once, I got to see gameplay at least every other time.
Okay. Yep.
But then really, so I'll maybe allow one that shows me a new aspect of gameplay. But really, after you've shown me gameplay, the very next thing and the only other thing I need is a release date. So show me
on the same end. Like once you've shown gameplay, cat's out of the bag. You can't really go backwards.
Exactly. Yeah. So once I've seen gameplay, got to keep seeing gameplay, and you better be announcing a release date. So I'll kind of allow it if you show us lots of new things in a gameplay trailer. Like I'll maybe let you extend that out. But no, I gotta see gameplay there. So
and it was a good trailer, but I just was sitting there like, so many people already know about this, and you're just kind of showing us the Avatar movie again. Like, give us a little bit more, because it seems like a lot of effort went into that trailer, and it was just stuff that was like, yeah, we know, we saw the James Cameron movie.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the Gearbox showcase. That's kind of the next thing. They showed Godfall coming to PS4. They're adding a Fire and Darkness DLC. So very cool. If you were,
I would be willing to revisit Godfall, but I would need someone to come with me, and Jeremy might do that. Also, just some context for Godfall. They're just now getting matchmaking.
Wow, jeez, what
a
unfortunate. Tribes of Midgar, which we've already discussed, that got another gameplay trailer here. Homeworld 3 is in production. So Homeworld 3.
They kept talking about Homeworld. They were just like, fun fact, Homeworld is this. And it's like, okay, what is the Homeworld? And it was weird.
Another kind of funny who I follow. They who Greg Miller, one of their founders, is hosting E3 right now. They've had a lot of like game casts and stuff where they've been discussing like each show as they've come out. And they opened the one talking about this where they were like, every single one of them in their like, here's this person, here's that person intro, whatever. They all said something about Homeworld 3 or whatever. And Homeworld 3. And I was just like, what is Homeworld 3? So, very cool. We got some behind the scenes of a Borderlands movie. So very cool.
Is it though?
Whatever. I guess we got a little bit more of the Tiny Tina's Wonderland trailer. You get to fight wyverns.
Didn't really get more. They just kind of talked a little bit more, but it wasn't really anything new.
Gotcha. That's all I'm seeing in this write-up. Is there anything else that you remember jumping out at you, Steven, that you remember from watching?
No.
So, okay.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Just a lot of Randy Pitchford talking about the Borderlands movie. Kevin Hart talking about how he's going to come out swinging with this role. It's like, okay.
Okay, thanks.
I learned that Eli Roth, I think is his name, is the director of the Borderlands movie, and Jeremy reminded me where I've seen him from, and he was in Inglorious Bastards by Quentin Tarantino. I believe it's a Tarantino film, and his name that he went by was the Bear Jew. They call him that because he was a Jewish guy who would execute Nazi soldiers by swinging a bat at their heads till they were just caved in.
Oh my god!
So that's the director of Borderlands, everybody, the Bear Jew.
Is Chivalry 2 on Games Pass, Kalen? Do you remember? Steven, do you know?
I don't believe it is.
Okay, maybe Kalen. That's a weak maybe.
If it's a Game Pass game, or if I can get it for extremely cheap, I'd be willing to try it.
Yeah, same here. Okay, jumping to arguably the biggest showcase of E3 so far.
Arguably, are you kidding me?
I mean, I'm just trying
It has no competition,
Okay,
Jake.
all right. Look. I'm saying arguably because Nintendo still hasn't happened. Nintendo still hasn't happened. All right, let's all calm down. Here. Let's take
I'm
a
gonna
breath.
be honest. Nintendo's not gonna beat it. They may beat like announcements, but like they're not gonna give that good of a show.
Yeah, they've only got 40 minutes. The Xbox was about an hour and a half. So yeah, they'd be hard pressed to do it. But you never know. There's always Breath of the Wild 2, baby. Come on, let's go. All right, so they came out swinging on Xbox. They showed Starfield, came right out of the gate with that. Announced it will release on November 11th of 2022. Gave us a nice cinematic trailer. They're following my rules, Steven. They're following my rules. The first announcement was a title. Now we got a cinematic, but we got a date. I didn't need the date, but they gave it to me. So.
Did they really come out swinging with that, or were they just like, "Hey, I'm coming to swing at you"?
I mean,
and then they slapped.
I mean, in my opinion, that Starfield is one of those games that I think we're all looking forward to, and kind of know it's going to be a bigger Bethesda game. And then for them to come out, say, "Yep, this is an exclusive. It is. If you're not playing it on a PC or an Xbox, you're not playing it." You know what I mean? And that's been a question. A weak question, I think, arguably. I think a lot of people have been asking the question, but I think everyone's been saying, like, dude, there's no way. Like, it's obviously going to be an exclusive. They just bought Bethesda. They're trying to do this. So I felt like it was a pretty good come out swinging move. Stalker 2.
The trailer wasn't, but it being there. Agreed.
It being it opening up the show, us getting a release date, and it being exclusive, I think that was a pretty strong opener.
Right. Right. Agreed.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. You and Jeremy seem to really like that one.
Stalker 2 looks so freaking good, man. It's like Metro with good voice acting.
Yeah. It definitely gave me Metro vibes. It looked a little rough to me, excited. But I'm glad you guys are excited. So. We got more on Back for Blood. We've talked that one to death, so I'm going to skip on. We got a small cinematic trailer for Contraband, which is a co-op smuggler's paradise set in the fictional world of 1970s Beyond. And
it is open world.
It is open world. Almost all of these, by the way, I'm just not even going to mention it. Almost all of these are launching day and date on Games Pass. That was like a huge bullet point that they made sure they said on everything. So just kind of assume that going forward. I never in a million years, speaking of things in a million years I never thought would happen. Sea of Thieves is having a Pirates of the Caribbean crossover where Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones are coming to Sea of Thieves with a free title update. It's called A Pirate's Life. It's happening on June 22nd. It's basically just going to be like a quest line, a story campaign that you can do. Johnny Depp is voicing Jack Sparrow. Like,
so wild.
I mean, really, like that was a fever dream moment when that happened, especially so early on in the stream. Like, if that had been a drunk stream for me, I really would have thought I just was tripping balls. Like that was all over the place for me. Then Battlefield 2042. They announced that, showed a gameplay trailer here. It's coming on October 22nd of this year. So
that gameplay,
that was a wild trailer. There was so much happening all at once.
That is what it's like to play Battlefield, man.
Yeah.
Like that is the experience. I'm getting that day one. It's going to be a ton of fun.
I mean, yeah, coming to Games Pass. Like I'm very excited. I want to try it too, just to play it with you guys. Psychonauts 2, the platform adventure sequel, it's coming out August 25th.
Finally got a release date. That's been a long time coming.
It has. Looks good. Looks interesting. I don't know that I'm going to pick it up. It's on Game Pass, so I might try it, but we'll see. Fallout 76, God bless their souls. They came out. They announced a couple of new announcements. The Steel Rain update is coming. It's adding the Brotherhood of Steel storyline. And then they revealed a new location called The Pit, formerly known as Pittsburgh. And they're going to be doing that. So, I mean, I say God bless them. They've just had a rough time, but like I do think it's amazing that they are still supporting the game, and it seems like they're supporting the game with things that people want, right? Like they added a battle royale mode not too long ago that they recently took out because people didn't like it. So.
Shocker.
Yeah, I mean they're listening. They're listening to people. I guess is what I'm trying to say. They're trying to adhere to their audience. So I think that's commendable. But anyway, Elder Scrolls Online. They got a console enhanced version for the Xbox Series X and S, and it's coming to PlayStation 5 on June 15th, which is interesting. I missed that. That's exciting. That's tomorrow for anybody who plays there. Oh, buddy, Party Animals. I totally forgot about this one. I didn't write this one down. I should have wrote that one down, but it's been on my radar. But Party Animals is kind of a Gang Beast style game, but you're animals and you're fighting each other, and there's all sorts of fun maps and stuff like that. So that's coming day and date to Games Pass. It's releasing next year. I don't think they gave a specific date for that one. Oh, take a breath there. Hades, the critically acclaimed indie game, will come to Xbox Game Pass on August 13th. So if you have Games Pass and haven't tried Hades, you have no excuse.
It's coming to PlayStation as well.
Yes, it is coming to PlayStation as well. So has it not been on PlayStation this whole time?
Nope.
Wow. It came to Switch first. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. They talked more about Halo Infinite. I swear... They gave the holiday season as the release date. They talked a lot about multiplayer. Looked pretty good to me. I'm not a big Halo person.
It looked fine.
Yeah.
It looked fine. It was nothing to sell a system with.
Right.
But thankfully, Xbox doesn't need Halo anymore.
That's right. They've got Game Pass.
So they need to just let him die. Let him die a noble death.
There you go. Far Cry 6, again. Far Cry 6 has been in almost every showcase we've talked about so far, and I think that will continue as we go on. Replaced, which is a new game from Sad Cat Studios and Coatsink. It's coming to PC and Xbox and Game Pass in 2022. It was a very cool kind of like pixel art style with a little bit of... what's the game, Steven? Octopath Traveler.
Kind of
that
3D,
2D dimension there. Looked very cool. Looks like a high action side scroller. Very excited for that. Among Us 15 player lobbies coming to Xbox Game Pass. Grounded.
Kalen said, might I also add that 76 has the highest player count on Games Pass. They did say that, but they didn't say concurrent.
They did say that. They did say
which means that they probably have had a lot of people download it and be like, wow, this isn't for me, and then not play it anymore.
Yeah.
If they said concurrent, that'd be different.
I'd love to know the concurrent. Grounded's getting a new update called Shroom and Doom, venture into the lair of the Brood Mother.
Can't wait to play that.
Terrifying first boss. There's some pets I think they added. Looked very cool. I didn't notice all the new things because all of it was new to me. So because I haven't played it yet.
Right.
12 Minutes got a trailer. I think we've known for a while that it was coming out on August 19th. But I am so excited for that game. James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe. That's going to be an awesome game. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds,
really cool experience.
Outer Worlds 2 got announced. Steven.
Now, see, that is how you do a teaser trailer, Jake.
That was a great teaser, right? It made fun of every game's teaser, and then gave a nice title graphic at the end. Very, very good. No dates or anything like that, but should be very exciting to see what Obsidian does with that.
I love Obsidian so much.
Yeah.
They're great.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, the game will come to Xbox Series S on July 27th. Forza Horizon 5, they talked a lot about. They had a lot of gameplay. Then they had like a developer deep dive, that sort of thing. And then the one more thing, quote unquote, the one more thing that wasn't the Xbox mini fridge was Redfall, the open world co-op first-person shooter from Arcane Austin, which will launch on Xbox Series XS PC next summer. And of course, available day and date on Games Pass. That was the vampire Left 4 Dead looking game with almost like a hero shooter kind of thing.
A bit of an Overwatch vibe, yeah.
Yeah, looked very good. That was a big highlight. I think you, me, and Jeremy all were writing that one down to keep on a list because
it was one of those. It was a Metal Slug Tactics kind of thing where it was a great announcement because one, it was a new IP. And two, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Arcane's a great dev. Like, it was pleasant. It was just very pleasant.
It was very, very pleasant. I want to, obviously, I want to see gameplay. I want to know more about it. But, for a first announcement, I thought it was pretty good. So I'm moving to Square Enix now. I got to look it up. First, but before I do that, Tyler Lightheart, thank you for joining. He said he's very excited about Outer Worlds 2. Steven, what do you hope for Outer Worlds 2? Like, what's your? I mean, I know your hope was that it came, but what do you really hope?
Outer Worlds was that game that can be described as a deep pond.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a lot of depth, but there wasn't a lot of width.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I want more width to that game. Like, I want to be able to go explore more places, bigger maps, more companions, more weapon types, more just weapons in general, just more options. But I also, of course, hope that it keeps the wide open kind of feel that it has of being able to basically talk yourself out of any situation, being able to skip stuff. Like, it just has a very good open RPG feel to it.
Right.
But I hope that they can really expand on that going to more places, I guess.
Yeah. And I think,
like, just expand on it.
I think that's what they're planning to do. So anyway, all right, going down Square Enix, this one will go. I think most of what we're about to continue talking about is going to go a lot quicker. Square Enix. We got Guardians of the Galaxy. That was what they opened the show with.
Man.
And we got, I was rewatching the trailer because I went to pull a really funny clip of me getting scared because they also brought me food. They spent like 20 minutes of their 40-minute show.
20 minutes on it. Yeah.
Their 40-minute show was 20 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy. It was... and this is what's crazy to me is this is the first we're hearing about this. It's coming out on October 26th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, PC. It's coming everywhere. This is the first we're hearing about it. We got what it is, gameplay, and a release date all in once. Like, huge announcement for me. I was so excited. That is the dream
announcement. That is the dream.
This game was literally made for Steven. You get to play as one of his favorite Marvel heroes. You are commanding a team. You're leading a team. It's story based.
A bunch of idiots. It's story based. It is doing its own thing. It's not tied to the MCU. Like,
right.
Oh man, it just looks so good.
It looks so good. A little rough around the edges. Some of the frame rates were weird. I don't know how much of that was like streaming issues because we were having a lot of weird issues coming through the actual E3 stream. But I'm super stoked on it. They showed different outfits. It's definitely story focused. It's single player. There were some weird choices, right? Like single player is one of those choices that we all kind of were like, well, that's kind of unfortunate. That's weird. We've talked about only getting to play as Star-Lord. That's kind of seems like a strange choice. But what I said in the stream and what I'll say again is I commend them for saying, hey, let's focus here. Like, let's really hone in on, let's make this. Let's focus on this thing. We want to make a story game that's going to be better. Or I don't know if better, but like, let's keep it single player. That's one less thing to worry about. We can really hone in. Let's keep it this one character, but let's let you control, command the others. So you're kind of getting that element of getting to,
Right.
use your other characters. So I commend them
honestly,
for focusing.
Agreed. And to me, as much as I would love for it to be co-op somehow, honestly, could you really make a full gameplay set out of Drax or Gamora? Gamora, maybe, but like, there's not a lot there.
I mean,
Star-Lord has
I think
the gadgets. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think both of them would be very similar, right? Because they're just going to be a melee
right.
build. Obviously, I think Drax could be a little bit stronger or something, and Gamora a little bit faster. I think Rocket would have been a really compelling character to play because he's going to have so many stuff, so many gadgets.
But my point being, if you're like as much as I would love a Guardians of the Galaxy co-op experience, to make a Guardians of the Galaxy game where you can play as all the characters, it really would be kind of spreading themselves too thin because there's not a ton you can do with a lot of them. And Star-Lord being the leader of the Guardians, it makes sense because it's going to feel unique playing, being able to command the Guardians on what to do. And it's true to the spirit of the Guardians because honestly, they're kind of lost without him.
Right.
So does it feel like Star-Lord the video game? Yeah, kind of. But you can't really have the Guardians of the Galaxy in their modern, as they are now, without the Star-Lord experience.
Right.
Like I've read the comics, I've watched the movies, I've done all that stuff, and everything I saw from this reveal, even though it doesn't have that co-op that you'd expect from a team of superheroes game, it absolutely nails the feel of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because it's a bunch of misfits that are very out for themselves or not used to working together being honed in by one guy.
Yeah.
And you play as that guy. And also that guy is just a human with some gadgets and some skills in space around all these like overpowered aliens. It's compelling. It is very compelling. And I know a lot of that is just like, Steven, you're just saying that because Star-Lord's like your favorite character. He is one of my favorite comic book characters. Yes, absolutely. But like to me, it just feels like they get it.
Right.
Like, it sucks that we're not going to be able to play co-op, and that for people who don't like Star-Lord as much as I do, it sucks that they're not going to get to play other characters. But this is a very good idea that makes a lot of sense if you can get past that.
So a couple things I want to hone in on there. I'm so glad they focused, and I think that's why we're getting an announcement, gameplay, and a release date all in this trailer, and it's coming soon, right? And now what that says to me is they haven't spent as much time as some other games. They haven't spent as much time on it as maybe some other games. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad, especially when you consider they focused like they have. They picked one character. They didn't add co-op. They're making it story focused. Like that says that's a lot of good signs for me. But the other thing I want to point out based on what you're saying is like, with it being single player, or well, if it had been multiplayer, if it had been co-op, that's just Guardians of the Galaxy's Avengers, right? Like it would literally just be Marvel's Avengers, which we already have right now, but Guardians. And I wonder if this doesn't eliminate Guardians from ever coming to that game. I hope it doesn't.
I didn't expect them to ever come anyway because it's the Avengers, not Marvel superheroes. Right.
So exactly. So I think it's good that this is different because we'd have two of the same.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of good that I'm seeing out of this game as a project. Like, unless if I misunderstood, the guy that they were talking to that was a writer on Guardians of the Galaxy, I think he's the writer on the game, and he gave us the team that we know today. Like, he worked on Annihilation Conquest, which is what forged the modern Guardians. And that was my favorite run of the Guardians.
Right.
Like, before Chris Pratt charmed everyone's pants off, and Star-Lord became just a goofy idiot, and Drax became a guy that doesn't get sarcasm, like the true Guardians.
Yeah.
And that has me excited. Like, it took me a while to marinate on it, I think. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I'm really excited for this because Eidos Montreal does Deus Ex. it would
Right.
be out of their purview, I think, to do something like Avengers, like do something that was just a team co-op game. So the fact that it's their game and that they are focusing on what they know, which is compelling single player narrative, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, more power to them. And again, it's a bummer that I won't be able to play this with friends. And I know that I would be more sour on it if it wasn't literally handpicked for me. But I do think that since I do have that bias to where I'm not like, oh, I want this to be co-op and it's not. Since I don't have that, I am able to just kind of think clear and be like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. October 26th coming to all
That's Anna's
platforms.
birthday. So for my wife's birthday, I'm going to buy her Guardians of the Galaxy on the PlayStation 5. Oh, she just did a hair flip. She loves it.
Oh, she loves it. Good, good. All right. So speaking of something we did not love, Babylon's Fall showed off their some gameplay. Obviously, new game from Platinum Games. It's kind of a Nier-esque action game. Just looked fine. You know, it didn't really speak to me.
We've been waiting to hear about this game.
I mean,
for like 4 years.
I don't know that I've been waiting. Obviously, like the internet as a whole has been waiting, but
they announced it 4 years ago at E3. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
And this is what they came up with.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look bad necessarily. It's just, it doesn't look different enough. Yeah. It's samey. It's going to be a live action or a live service title. So they're going to continue to update it. I hope it goes well for them. I hope they find an audience. I'm just not that audience. So speaking
I could be convinced, but good luck.
Yeah. Speaking of things that I'm not the audience for, Life is Strange: True Colors. They
my emotions.
They showed a whole nother trailer and talked all about that game and talked about the True Colors empathy powers. So there's that if you're interested in that. Final Fantasy Pixel games got a remaster. They're doing updates for 6 different games: Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
It's 1 through 6.
All very exciting. Then we got the Marvel's Avengers War for Wakanda trailer. Very good trailer. Showed off story. It looks like it's going to be a big storyline expansion.
Yeah, it was one of those that like kind of like in the same vein of Guardians of the Galaxy, to where like when you watch it, you're just like, oh, that's it. Like they didn't show a lot, but then like once you sit on it for a minute, you kind of realize, no, it showed us a lot.
Yeah.
And
I just wish they'd showed us gameplay. I wanted to hear more about how he works, but I'm sure they're going to save that for a war table, right? They probably just want to do. Probably want to do a war table at some point. So
it's still like a 3-second clip or something of him doing a really cool move. Just something,
right?
Would have been nice.
Well, and I wish too they'd given us a release date, because all we got was summer. And I've heard a lot of reports now that it's going to be August. A lot of people saying August 14th to be a true year 2 of the game. But we'll have to see there. So that's all I'm seeing on this Square list, this Square write-up that someone got. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Strangers of Paradise. That was the Chaos game. So looked kind of like a Souls-like meets Devil May Cry. So we'll see where that goes.
That was such a funny trailer, and they did not intend it to be that way.
No, but chaos.
That dude, every time he opened his mouth, it was, I'm here to kill chaos. It was like Eren Yeager in Titans from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, like,
it was hilarious.
Like, what does that even mean? I'm here to kill chaos? What are you talking about? Get out of here.
Chaos.
Get out of here, kid. Get out of here, kid. All right, so Steven, Warner Brothers, they just showed more Back 4 Blood. We've talked about Back 4 Blood, so I'm going to skip on that. Do we want to go through the PC gaming show? That was one we live streamed, or we live streamed on Discord. So okay, all right, I'm looking up that showcase now. But
if you've ever watched a PC gaming show before and experienced the cringe that is the PC gaming show, oh boy howdy, they outdid themselves this year.
Yeah, it was all space. Something, there was a robot. It all kind of blurs together for me. So, all right,
it was MechWarrior 5 themed, and they ruined the Catapult CLT 2 for me.
Naraka Blade Points.
That's the
started. That was a Sekiro-inspired combat. It's like a
It's
Japanese
like it's a
anime battle
BR kind of, isn't it?
royale. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They started with
Which,
that.
I mean, if I didn't know that it was a BR, I would have looked at that gameplay and been like, this looks kind of fun.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Dynasty Warriors kind of vibe
Yeah.
too. So,
Yeah.
Dodgeball Academia, which was
Let's freaking go,
a
man.
dodgeball RPG coming to PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
When is that coming? Do we have a release date?
I'm not seeing one here, Steven, but I could be missing it. But yeah, that was a pretty funny, directed at you kind of game. So hope you like it.
It looks fun.
Chivalry 2, which launched last week. They went up. They showed off 64 player combat. Gave a small roadmap update. Looks cool. We got food based arena battler Rawmen launching on PC and all platforms. There wasn't a release date, but it's coming. It's madness.
It's probably going to come out on June 9th next year, just so they can say it came out on 69.
Maybe
it has that kind of vibe.
Maybe it does. Techland showed off some backstory and concept art for Dying Light Stay Human. They covered the origins of the universe and Aidan Caldwell. Of course, it's coming to.
But they did it entirely through the lens of a guy sitting down in a chair talking to us.
Yeah,
that was a mistake.
Yeah, December 7th is when that's releasing. In case you didn't know,
they did announce that at the initial reveal.
Amplitude Studios showed off one of the hosts, Frankie Ward, has been added to the Humankind game.
Hey, Flam.
It's all right. August 17th, if that's something you're into. They Always Run came next. It was a cyberpunk 2D platformer. No release date was given. Orcs Must Die 3, which was previously...
That's the one.
That was previously a Google Stadia exclusive, is now launching on multiple platforms on July 23rd.
Oh, thank God. I didn't know that part.
I didn't either, but it makes sense. There have been a lot of Google Stadia games. Wavebreaker, which we didn't mention it in the showcase earlier, the Summer Games Fest, but I forget the band. Weezer sang a song, right? That song was from Wavebreaker. Wavebreaker was a game on Google Stadia that's now free because Google Stadia died. So.
Yeah. Well, Kalen, to what you said, he said the Stalker 2 trailer was told from the perspective of a guy sitting in a campfire. Yeah, but here's the thing. That had personality, and it also had gameplay spliced in.
Yeah. This was just a guy talking.
This was just a guy in a dark room being like, hey.
They showed some concept art, and that's it. But,
yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song showed a cinematic trailer. There was some moments of a third-person camera. It's a narrative-driven game. Don't really know much. They didn't show much of the gameplay other than that. Then Giga Bash, which is a multiplayer brawler inspired by Kaiju, that came up. Looks like it was a lot of fun. Just kind of a random, exciting brawler. You're destroying cities, fighting each other. Some of them could summon mechs to get into, so we'll see. Let me see here. We did talk about Stalker 2, Kalen, early on. Limnus Gate is launching on Steam on August 4th. They showed off a little bit of gameplay, kind of did an explainer with the dev about how that game goes. I have no
desire to play it, but it looks really interesting.
Has a great unique pitch, right? It's a shooter where one player gets 25 seconds to do their moves. Then the next player has 25 seconds to counter that move, and it's just kind of like you're constantly doing different timelines where you're countering the other person's move. Yeah. Just a very interesting way to take on that.
It's that kind of thing where like you hear somebody pitch it to you, and you're just like, yeah, let me know how that goes. But you actually mean it.
It takes a pitch. It takes a pitch.
Yeah.
You can't just show gameplay for it without explaining it, because it is right. It's easy to miss what's actually happening there. But Next Space Rebels followed that. It blends Kerbal Space Program with like rocket building. So there you go. War Tales, which was kind of an exciting. Jeremy and I kind of perked up for that one. It was a open world turn-based RPG where players search a medieval world for bounties, tombs, and riches.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, it looked
I'm
good.
all about
They
it.
kind of lost me once they showed combat. I liked the art style, liked the world, but the combat just looked like I like turn based. I can enjoy current turn based, but it just seemed boring turn based. So I'd like to see more to see if it gets more exciting. But Ixion was unveiled with their first cinematic trailer. It didn't explain much, but the actual Steam page revealed that you'll be responsible for guiding a space station through the galaxy to find a new safe home for humanity. So kind of a space city builder. I guess not city builder, but what am I trying to say, Steven? Like city management game, I guess, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, big
Civ
announcement.
management.
Big announcement here. Far Changing Tides, a unofficial sequel to Far Lone Sails, coming. I did not realize now that I'm reading this, but Far Lone Sails was 2D. This is actually going to be 3D, so that's exciting. I didn't even know.
Okay.
Funnily enough, it felt 3D to me when I played Far, even though it is a side scroller. You're going to be traversing water in this one versus sailing on land, which is kind of funny to me, but whatever. Then we got Lakeburg Legacy. I will definitely be streaming Far Changing Tides, by the way.
I'm so glad. I'm happy with your PC gaming show experience because it's just typical of the PC gaming show to just be really cringe to sit through. But there's usually that one announcement where you're just like, you know what? I guess that was worth it.
There was some pretty decent announcements. I mean, like I almost wish we had streamed this one because it was some pretty good announcements, but it just didn't work out schedule wise. But then we got Lakeburg Legacies, which I still can't decide if I want to try or not. It is a village management game. It's launching on March 11th, 2022. And it's all about organizing and creating the most efficient families to make sure your kingdom survives. And I just love their freaking thumbnail on their video because it's the meme of the guy looking over the shoulder at the girl walking away.
Oh my God.
But it's in their art style. Their art style, it's like a storybook art style. Looks like they had me. And then they started organizing like families, and it kind of got date simi for me. I keep seeing the trailer though, and I'm just like, man, that art style looks good. I want to try, so I might try it. It's going to take the right time, the right circumstances to get me there though. Killing Floor 2, Interstellar Insanity came next. Just wild to me. Probably. Yeah, it's a summer event. You're in space. It's Killing Floor in space. So very exciting. Mech Warrior 5, Mercenaries announced a new career mode. And a procedural mission types.
It's been out. That was just them basically talking about because they launched on Steam like a month ago. Like whenever I started playing Mech Warrior 5 is around the time they launched on Steam because they were Epic exclusive and Game Pass for a while.
Gotcha.
Which this is a game you can try with me. It's on Game Pass. But they were just talking about what was current because that stuff's all like a month old.
Gotcha. Slit came after that. It was a combo of monochromatic underwater platforming mixed with possession powers where the player can
Slit or Silt?
Interesting, Steven, because I'm looking at it now and I swear to God the letters just shifted around. It is Silt. SILT. But that
I couldn't remember, but I thought it was Silt.
That I looks awfully close to an L from a distance here. They didn't announce a release date. Looks very inside-ish. I know I've probably said that about a lot of games lately, but this one...
it's got that dark limbo kind of look to it, but you're like possessing different things to move through the worlds. It's interesting. Like I'm not going to play it, but interesting.
Right. We got a short cinematic trailer for Hello Neighbor 2. We got a developer update on Jurassic World Evolution. Blah, blah, blah. Moving down. New Blood Interactive showed off Fallen Aces, Ultra Kill, Amid Evil, The Black Labyrinth, Unfortunate Spacemen, Dusk 82. Kyle is Completely Famous. Kalen just mentioned Plague Tale Requiem, and that wasn't in my Xbox write-up that I just did. And holy crap, I'm so excited for that game. So I am so sorry.
That Xbox write-up.
I hate write-ups. Okay, I hate them because they always say everything announced, and then they always miss something. But Plague Tale 2. I never in a million years. That's another one. I never in a million years thought. That's the theme of my E3 is I never in a million years thought that this would happen. But that is getting a sequel. It looks amazing. The trailer glitched out for us and I think many other people. But I recently watched it again on Twitter, and I could have told you from the first frame that that's what the game was because you hear voices and it was absolutely the main girl talking. And so I hate that went like it did in the stream because I really would have been more excited about it. But yeah, I'm super stoked for that. Let me see. I'm honest with you, Steven. I'm losing myself on PC gaming. There's just a lot of stuff I don't even care about anymore on here. Was there anything else that you wanted to pull out specifically from this that you remember?
Not really. My main thing was Orcs Must Die. I'm really excited for Orcs Must Die 3.
It looks good. It looked really good. A lot better than I thought it would. So I hope that it's good. But anyway, there was also that I'm scrolling real quick through here to see if there's anything else that I just remember liking. Tinykin, which we kind of joked was like 2D Pikmin stuck in a 3D world.
That was a weird art style.
It's a weird choice, but it looks
trippy.
cool. Looks cool. Again, I'm just kind of fast scrolling. Right at the end, they showed us this game called The Wandering Village, and it was like a village sim, but you're on top of a giant like walking kaiju
Turtle
or
thing.
something. Yeah, that's all we really got from that. So I really hope we get more from that. Scrolling on down, I'm just seeing if there's anything else that I'm missing that I cared about, that we cared about. I think that was it. So, oh man, geez. That was the PC Gaming Showcase. Obviously not comprehensive again, but just kind of an out there stream. And then today, Steven,
worst E3 day that has ever happened?
Do we even need to talk about anything that happened today? I mean,
we can. Like,
I honestly don't even know where to start because there were so many quote unquote conferences, right? But like, I know Verizon didn't talk about anything interesting. I don't think we really got anything.
5G intolerance.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of the Freedom Games. This was more of like an indies showcase and stuff.
Freedom Games did good. Yeah. They actually had games.
I caught the
best show the entire day.
I caught a tail end of the indie showcase. Capcom didn't show anything, right? They were pretty slim.
The only thing they showed that we hadn't seen already was a new Phoenix Wright game with the main character being named Herlock Sholmes. And I just I'm pissed about it.
That's what lost it for Steven. So
it's so dumb.
Yeah. Pretty hard to beat that. So yeah, I think that's really it there. That's so far, right? So far, I mean, you kind of, someone, I forget who it was at the beginning, maybe Austin, somebody said, it's kind of been a bummer year. Like, I definitely don't think this has been like the best E3 ever. Like, it's certainly not like a 2019 or rather a 2017 or a 2018, which was just crazy.
One of the worst.
Yeah. I don't know about one of the worst. I mean, like, we've gotten some pretty good announcements. It just hasn't been.
This has been one of the worst with one of Xbox's best showings.
I mean,
but as a whole, E3 this year has been bad. I
definitely think we're suffering from, and I don't know how
lack of organization.
I wouldn't even say lack of organization. I would say that it's too. How do I put this? So what I'm seeing here, especially, and I think this is most evident today, with this being an online only showcase, right? I feel like, and I'd love to know from the business side what E3 offered people, because obviously you can't go to the show floor, right? You can't set up a booth. You can't do anything on that end. So your only option to be a part of the show is to do a conference, right? Or to do some sort of interview or something on their live stream. So I think that opened up the floor for a lot of people who usually just come, like Verizon is a good example, I think. They usually are just there, right? They're usually just, they probably just have a booth. Maybe they're showing off some new tech. I don't know. They're not someone who needed a showcase time. But that's the only way they can be a part of it this year. So I don't know. And this is all in a bit of an experimental year, right? 2021 or 2020 E3 just canceled, right? That happened in the heat right as COVID was really coming into effect. So they just outright canceled it. Obviously, Jeff Keighley stepped in and did Summer Games. Everybody kind of was scrambling to make something happen. We ended up with like the literally months long, random showcases, random announcements happening. I like this better than that personally. But just because it's all condensed, I like it to be more condensed and kind of know, I've seen everything that happened this weekend.
But there needs to be a gateway of entry.
Well,
they don't need to just let everybody that wants to do something.
Exactly.
Then you have something like what Take-Two did.
Yeah.
Today, and that was disastrous.
What I hope happens in the future is that this online version of the show continues, but they still have a floor, right? Because then you can still have people like Verizon be a part of E3 or some of these other people who would normally have a booth, and that be all they do. Those people can have that, but then we can have a more honed in, fine-tuned online show. But I tell you what, I think part of also what's weak about it this year is we don't have Sony again, right? Like that obviously, I forget. Was it 2019 when they left? Was that the first year that they had split from E3?
Yes.
That kind of, E3 suffered from that a little bit, especially since Xbox still wasn't quite where they are now as far as like we're doing exclusives, right? That like Xbox shone then and they shine again this year, being one of the, arguably the best. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know that I could say that it's been one of the worst years because I still think we've gotten some pretty good announcements and stuff. But I definitely think we've had some of the worst showcases we've ever had, and that's just because the barrier for entry for showcases has been very.
So much lower,
it's on the floor. You know what I mean? Like it's just walk on through.
It's really going to be up to Nintendo tomorrow to make this not the worst E3 ever, but like Xbox had a good like a great showcase, one of the best ones they've ever had, or at least in several years. But they're always good. Square Enix had one that was about on par with what Square Enix usually does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I liked it better because it wasn't nearly as long. I feel like Square Enix sometimes overstays their welcome, but I think it was especially good because they had 2 Marvel games to show off. Wish they had spent more time on Avengers, but I mean
the amount of time they spent on Guardians justified their spot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's on par with Square.
Yeah.
But then you have Ubisoft and Gearbox just tanked. Like Ubisoft had 2 good things, and then that was it. And stop. And then Gearbox had basically nothing. And then Bethesda normally would have their own conference. They were part of Xbox's. So to say that Xbox was slightly above, well, they were above par this year, but they also took away the fact that we took away Bethesda from us because it was all one. Like there just wasn't enough going for this E3 to me so far to say that the outliers were good enough to make this not possibly the worst year that we've had.
Right.
Especially when Summer Games Fest, it's not E3. Jeff Keighley really wants us to know that Summer Games Fest is not E3, but everything E3 is Summer Games Fest, right?
Right. That's just how that goes now.
Yeah, that's just how it is. So things like Elden Ring, not E3. So I really do think that unless if Nintendo pulls some magic rabbit out of their hat, not rabbit, not rabid, then jokes. Then if they don't pull something like big, this is gonna be the worst E3 that I've ever seen.
Wow. I don't think it's that dire on Nintendo, but
I just don't know of another year that's been this disappointing.
yeah, I was gonna say that too, Brody. That rabbit's name is Breath of the Wild. So and it very well could happen tomorrow. So I'm very excited. And on that note, because we've gone 2 hours, I know we need to wrap this up here. We will be live streaming, Brody and I.
What did you think of Loki, Jake?
Oh yeah, you want to do that? All right. So I think Loki episode 2. It was real weird. I wasn't expecting him to turn into a rabbit, Steven. Kind of a weird choice. He
turned into a snake before and bit Thor, so it made sense they turned into a rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. He is.
We'll talk Loki next week.
Yeah, we'll talk Loki when we don't have so much E3 going on. But
go watch it though if you haven't though. It's very good.
It's very good. I enjoyed episode 1 a lot. It was a lot of fun. So. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to discuss before we go. Steven, are you going to be?
Tyler, I'm not really expecting anything big from Nintendo. Not that big. Go ahead, Jake. What?
Again, there's a rabbit there called Breath of the Wild 2 that I don't know how you guys aren't just like freaking out about.
Because Mephisto, Jake.
That rabbit is Mephisto.
That rabbit's name is Mephisto, and he doesn't exist.
Oh man, Nintendo! If you don't knock it out of the park, I will delete my Titan. I swear to God,
I will delete my Titan, Nintendo. It'll happen,
man. So, Steven, you're planning to be on the Nintendo reaction stream, correct?
I've got staff meeting in the morning, but I'm hoping to be out of there by like 10:45. So I'm gonna do my best to be part of it.
Should be perfect. Should be perfect timing. So that showcase happens at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, AM. So be sure to.
Are you guys planning on covering the treehouse as well, or just the showcase?
We might sit through depends on what they do first, right?
Does it depend on what they drop at the showcase?
Depends on what they're showing.
Need 2 hours to decompress.
Look,
because Mephisto's going to show up. And
what I figured is we'd watch it while we kind of deconstruct the show and kind of talk about it a little bit. If they're showing, Breath of the Wild 2 at that point, it's going to be hard to pull me away from that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Of course. So 11 o'clock Central Standard Time in the morning. Expect me for sure. I'm pretty sure Brody is still planning to be there. Brody, let me know in the chat if that plan has changed, or text me, whatever's better for you. And then Steven's going to try to join us as well. Steven, at the very least, if you even got to jump in late, I can get you in the Discord voice.
That's probably what will happen.
Yeah.
I might miss the first announcement or two.
Yeah, that's fine.
But knowing Nintendo, the first announcement or two are just going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they'll be. It's going to be a good show. I'm really excited.
They usually
really
don't. I guess what I'm saying is, in my memory, Nintendo doesn't usually bring the big stuff out the gate.
Yeah, I feel like normally they open with something big and then try to close with something even bigger. So we'll see. But yeah, we're going to be doing that tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that. As far as streams later this week, we haven't really discussed it much, but I'm sure we'll be doing some live streams this weekend. Again, normally we live stream.
Hey, pull up my music if you pulled it down.
Usually
so we can talk this out with some outro.
Okay, all right. Give me a second. Yeah. Usually we live stream on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights, so be sure to tune in for those. Not sure what we'll be doing. I would love to do a Destiny 2 stream where we do the Prophecy Dungeon at some point, Steven. It's a smallish raid, but it's power level 1100. So literally the lowest a power level can possibly be. So you don't have to be geared up for anything like that. So we just would have to. It's going to take a team. I've tried doing it solo and it's just not. It's not working. It's not easy.
Right.
All right, I bumped your music up there, Steven, so you're getting a little bit of that through. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, be sure to tune in for those live streams later. It's going to be very exciting. And yeah, we're going to do Nintendo and close out E3. So next podcast, I'm sure we'll talk about the Nintendo show, and then we'll probably catch up on Loki and just whatever else we've missed since that time. I haven't really talked about Ratchet and Clank at all. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. Having a lot of fun with that. It's just really, really polished, really good. So anyway, but we'll do all that in the next podcast. So
what streams are you part of this week?
For
I missed that
sure,
part.
for sure Tuesday. Again, for anyone who doesn't know, I think Kalen mentioned it about. He asked if I could give updates on Asher. Lee Allison and I are expecting our first child to be born any day now, literally any day. It's just she's 39 weeks pregnant right now. So we are kind of at that point. So
When is his due date?
June 19th, so this Saturday.
Okay.
So I do not know what I will be a part of, but I will try to be a part of something because I don't have a wedding this weekend. So but I will have a baby. So
You
we'll
said
see.
Tuesday a minute ago. Did you mean Thursday?
No, I meant Tuesday. I know for sure I will
Okay.
be at the Nintendo live stream. I don't know anything past
Okay,
that.
I was referring to like evening streams,
Yeah.
but I'll just plan to cover all of it, and if you can join anything, great.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, that's going to do it for today's Chortle Cast. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this, please feel free to subscribe at chortlegames.com. That's our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/chortle_games. Or follow us and like us on Facebook and Twitter at Chortle Games on both those platforms. The podcast airs every Monday, goes live every Monday night at 12 no, what time is it? Normally we go live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, but of course
We
tonight
went a little late tonight.
little late tonight. We were expecting Jeremy to come, but he's MIA. So
I have an update. I have an update on Jeremy.
yeah.
I think he and Krista went to the gym tonight.
Oh, okay.
And so I think
got
he fell asleep. He fell asleep on the couch, is what he said, and Krista could not move him.
Oh, yikes. Poor,
Like 7:50.
poor
So
man.
he took a nap.
Took a nap. That's all right. But anyway, yeah, be sure to follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, we will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.